Big wins last night in New York for Donald Trump and for Hillary Clinton, with both candidates gaining a lot of momentum as front runners of their parties. The numbers alone are proving that their messages are resonating with voters. Wrapping up her New York victory speech last night, you may have noticed this really poignant moment where Secretary Clinton introduced a very special guest in the crowd, and all of a sudden it was full emotion. Have a look.
There is a remarkable young woman here tonight. Her name is Erica Smigelski. She lives the truth of what I've been saying every day. Erica's mother, Dawn, was the principal of Sandy Hook Elementary School. And she died trying to protect her children, her students. Erica was devastated, as any family member is. And she couldn't imagine life without her mom. But then she got thinking. She got back up. She'd never been involved in politics before, but she has made it her mission to advocate for common sense gun safety reform.
After December 14th, 2012, Secretary Hillary Clinton says Erica turned her sorrow into a strategy and her mourning into a movement. It's also true for the families of the 5 other adults and the 20 children who were murdered that day, shot to death at their school with a Bushmaster AR-15. By the time it was all said and done and the shooting stopped, that shooter had unloaded 154 rounds from the semi-automatic rifle. The principal, Erica's mother, Dawn Hochsprung, was in a meeting but had stepped out into the danger when that shooting began to find out what was happening. She was at the peak of her career. The families cannot get their loved ones back, but they are still seeking justice in a lawsuit that they have brought against the gun manufacturers, the people who built the AR-15. And a Connecticut judge has ruled just yesterday that a lawsuit on their behalf can in fact move forward right into the discovery process. Even a trial date's been set, April 3rd, 2018, 2 years from now. This is huge. First time that we've had a case like this go into discovery. Jessica Schneider joins me live now, along with CNN legal analyst Paul Callan, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. Jessica, I know you're covering this story. I think a lot of people would wonder, why this case? Why is it able to get past that very strong federal protection, the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, which effectively has been covered for these gun manufacturers to say, you can't sue us for what the guns do. The guns did it, not us.
Right, very strong protection for the gun manufacturers. But the parents are trying to get around this. They're saying that the gun manufacturers should be held accountable for what they're calling, in very strong words, unethical, oppressive, and immoral marketing tactics. They say that the gun manufacturers have specifically targeted young men who play video games like Call of Duty, and they've also targeted civilians who they say just are not fit to be operating these military-style rifles and firearms. In particular, the lawsuit itself puts a very fine point on it. If we can take a look at a full screen, it says the Bushmaster defendants' militaristic marketing reinforces the image of the AR-15 as a combat weapon used for the purpose of waging war and killing human beings. It continues on. This marketing tactic dovetails with the widespread popularity of realistic and addictive first-person shooter games, most notably, of course, Call of Duty, that prominently feature AR-15s and rewards players for headshots and kill streaks. So they're going at it, saying that this was negligent marketing and also that it violates a Connecticut statute about unfair trade practices.
I think that the first question I would have out of that is, what are the chances that, to some people, that sounds like one hell of a reach, just to go after the marketing, Paul Callan. But this judge has a reason for doing what she did.
Yeah, this is a really novel theory, and frankly, if it were sustained, it could shut down the gun industry. There's very aggressive marketing done with virtually every kind of weapon, some of it on television, some of them in sporting magazines. And this ruling, by the way, by Judge Barbara Bellis, who, by the way, highly respected judge in Connecticut, appointed to the court in 2003, and just considered to be a smart judge, I think is correct under Connecticut procedure, but in the long run it's not going to mean a lot, and I'll tell you why. This motion just said you have the right to go forward with the case at this point. It was that the court has jurisdiction, has the right to hear the case. But remember, there's a federal immunity statute that says if a gun manufacturer is being used because a gun was used in a crime, they get immunity. And in other words, as long as the gun wasn't defective, this wasn't a defective gun, it did what it was supposed to do, you can't sue the gun manufacturer. That's step two. There'll be another motion made, maybe even before any discovery is completed, to dismiss on the grounds of the federal immunity statute, and the gun manufacturers may very well win on that. We'll have to wait to see.
It's just really fascinating, and we'll definitely have to follow to see what's next. Jessica, welcome to the CNN team as well.
Thank you very
I should have
much,
said that
Ashley.
right off the bat. It's nice to have you. And
Thank
Paul
you.
Callan, as always, thank you. Coming up next, a big win